From this point forward, the word cheese will be bleeped because Michael finds it offensive.
Hello and welcome back to the Fine Dining Podcast, the search for the most mediocre restaurant in America. This is part 2 of our hot dog on a stick episode. I am still here with Monis Rose from the Restaurant Fiction Podcast. Monis, how's it going?
Hey, thank you for having me here for part 2, Michael. It is a pleasure.
Hell yeah. You ready to dive in and tell all these people what it was like to eat at Hot Dog on a Stick?
Oh, this is going to be the POV you never saw coming.
For those of you who are for some reason listening to part 2 of an episode as your first episode, this is the show where I go to restaurants and I'm looking for the most mediocre one based on its atmosphere,
based on its service,
and based on its food. Yum. And I'm looking for this so that you know the perfectly middle restaurant, the litmus test against which you can measure all other restaurants. Currently, Applebee's is in the lead at 5.02, but I think we can do better.
Fine dining party of 2.
I've been talking too long. Our table is finally ready. Let's jump in.
Your table is ready, follow me. Have you tried our chicken breast? Serving pancakes and ribs, I recommend the spaghetti. We're here to satisfy, not to impress. Your table is ready, complimentary butter and bread. These walls have road signs, knick-knack, cowboy hat, good luck cat, autographed guitar, some crap from your city. Behold the tchotchke of mediocrity. Fine dining, just fine dining, fine dining. 2 letters on the sign are shining, neon flickering, irregular timing. Identify the perfect 5 out of 10. Fine dining, fine dining.
Hey there, it's Jennifer and Dan from Bandcamp, your go-to comedy band book podcast.
This season, we're headed down the Mississippi River with the adventures of Huckleberry Finn.
We'll read it out loud one chapter at a time, trying to figure out why it was banned in the first place.
But we're probably not going to be able to find a reason because book banning is stupid.
Join us every Tuesday and Thursday for new episodes.
Find us wherever you listen to podcasts.
That's Bandcamp with 2 N's. Join us. Atmosphere.
So the atmosphere of Hot Dog on a Stick and the first impressions of Hot Dog on a Stick are going to be very, very similar just because there was no interior to dine in to this place. We were kind of left to the elements. There's like a curb, there's a bench, there's the sand, the beach. Like we're on Santa Monica Pier along the boardwalk area, basically the bike lane. I don't know. How do you describe where we were?
I'd say it's LA, it's California. I'd say, honestly, if someone said to me, hey, I want the most touristy environment, the most touristy exposition, if you will, of the idyllic
vibe of Southern California.
Yeah, of Southern California. I'd plan them into 2 places. I'd plan them either in front of Grauman's Chinese Theater or I'd plant them here
Santa Monica Pier.
Exactly. Because we mentioned in the history section that Hot Dog on a Stick appeared in the fictitious version, appeared in one of the Charlie's Angels movies. That is not that. You're getting real LA in the real Hot Dog on a Stick here. You're getting the ocean, but is the ocean Hawaii or Bali or Maldives perfect? No, it's dirty water, baby. It's dirty water. Not maybe like Boston dirty water, but it's you're getting the screams and all that from the roller coasters.
You're getting shirtless people rollerblading by.
Yes, there's also this bathroom. Then there's an island in and of itself because it's surrounded in a very crowded parking lot. This is LA though. You're getting
that grime.
You're getting the grime. You're getting the low end and the high end and everything in between. Honestly, this is a make it or break it if you're going to really truly enjoy LA or not.
Sure.
Whether you're here for a couple of days on a business or pleasure trip, or you actually want to say, hey, I think I'm going to move here. It's like, okay,
can I handle the pier?
Can you handle the pier? Can you handle this environment of Hot Dog on a Stick? Yes or no? Make it or break it. Let's go.
Exactly. So you get a bright red building, a fun Hot Dog on a Stick font. You get like a pirate ship and a dragon's head off to the side that looks like a little playground area with benches and whatnot. Car alarms.
Which, by the way, I don't know the history of that dragon, if you will, but for the locals, which say grew up with the OG Z Boys and the Dogtown and Z Boys and all that, like that dragon that has been there, that a lot of kids, a lot of other things, which we'll get into, but that is also a staple right there.
Yeah. I mean, we can go ahead and talk about it. Because they had nowhere to seat us, there's no tables or anything like that, no interior. We ended up eating inside the little pirate ship. It's not a playground. It kind of looks like it should be, but it's really just a couple of benches inside of a pirate ship deck, essentially.
You know, the world is your oyster here. You're not. This is not a controlled environment. So yeah,
no,
you don't have.
This is kind of chaotic.
This is.
You're to the elements.
You're right. So it's like, are you going to do any kind of recon? And no, you don't have time to do recon on that perfect place.
We're like, oh, here's a spot. There were 3 of us. You brought our
director of photography,
Chris, and we're sitting at this pirate ship. We're kind of looking to make a quick decision because, again, we want to kind of plant down, be able to we got a lot of food, which we'll get into, but we kind of ordered the whole menu. So we need space, and there's not picnic tables, or at least close by. I'm sure if you walk down a little bit, you can find some, but it just seemed like the only place that had some level of spice to it. Because I didn't want to just sit on the curb or like the little bench is even a generous word, but just like the concrete ledge that faced the hot dog on a stick. I wanted to sit somewhere fun, somewhere that would be memorable and unique. The pirate ship seemed to cover the bases. We get up there. It's sandy. We've set out all the food. We've been there a while. We've eaten most of our meal, and Chris just nudges us and goes, hey, and he points at the ground, and there's just a used condom and a condom wrapper.
Degenerates unite. So you know what Michael is saying is gospel. But the thing is, it doesn't matter what location you pick. It doesn't matter.
Any hot dog on a stick, there's going to be a used condom on the ground.
I'm talking about like where to sit on this one, but you're right.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. But, that's another
no
thing.
matter which hot dog on a stick location.
It doesn't matter, though. Like, you can do the park bench. You can even do the hood of your car. You got to get into that ultra hipster degenerate.
Like, I don't care where I'm eating.
Exactly.
If it's a flat surface, I'm eating there. It actually doesn't even have to be perfectly flat.
Absolutely. I mean, once upon a time, my friend and I, we were a little bit intoxicated in Coney Island. And what did we do? Yes, we just curbside, like a couple of degenerates.
Pulled out some condoms.
Well, this is not that podcast, but you know, but you are on Patreon, so maybe you can get a lot of money if I tell that story. But anyway, no.
And OnlyFans, of course.
Yeah.
People are looking up mediocre restaurants on OnlyFans in between wank breaks.
We got to fund the fine dining podcast, Michael.
You got to do it somehow.
So,
and if you've got good looking feet, why not, you know?
But yeah, I mean, for me,
you liked it, right?
I like the degenerateness of it. Is this safe for kids? Fuck no. No, not at all. I'm really surprised we did not actually find needles or anything like that.
I'm going to bleep when you say hell, but I'm not going to bleep when you say fuck. People are going to be like, wait, did he say something worse than fuck? Did he say a racial slur?
Yeah.
But I am going to leave this in.
To your point, was it a little more romantic if we actually walked towards the ocean and we can, really
lay out a beach towel?
Lay out the beach towel? I don't know. Not really, just because we would have gotten sand everywhere.
Sandy corn dog sounds bad.
Not gonna lie, like this intersection of where Hot Dog on a Stick is like right where Venice meets Santa Monica.
Right.
And it is not clean, picturesque Seychelles Islands beach, okay?
No.
It is not your Maui perfection.
This is not appearing on, like, the cover of a magazine anywhere. Unless it's like, we have a problem.
Correct.
Like, yeah.
Correct. Yeah.
I did like this pirate ship vibe. It did feel very like, we're just improvising, we're on the fly, we've made a decision, and it's unique and memorable, but it is still sandy. There is still gross stuff. So I'm going to dock the rating for that. But my rating is based in what I consider objectivity, which is a weird thing to say because it's an opinion. But what I mean by that is I am trying to give you the facts, and the fact is these are not good things, so the score is going down. Did I enjoy it? I enjoy shitty things. So something can get a low rating from me, and I still enjoyed it immensely. Does that resonate? Does that make any sense?
This environment, it builds up the story, and the story gets better and better and better. And if you're not perturbed, if you kind of go and like, we accept this. We have accepted our fate.
Our lot in life.
We have accepted it. When you accept,
I can enjoy it now that I've accepted it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You need to turn on the dark comedy element inside of you. Like, don't go dramatic. Don't be like, oh, I wanted the Disney adventure. No. Go dark comedy. And if you can find that, it's kind of funny.
Yeah. And it's also crazy to me that it was like 75 to 80% through our meal before we noticed the condom wrapper. Like, that would have been a deterrent. I would have been like, maybe we sit somewhere else.
It was a Magnum, so whoever used it, I mean, God bless you, sir.
That or they're just lying to themselves. Now, one thing I do want to talk about is overhead. It seemed like military helicopters were circling us. And it made me a little suspicious, Monis. It made me wonder a question that I just have to ask. What's going on over there?
What's going on over there? What's going on over there? Should I worry? Should I care? What is going on over there?
So, Michael, what's going on over there?
It's the government, right? What's one of the biggest problems that people have with the government right now?
What is it? Is it?
Obviously, it's inflation. We paid $108 for a meal at Hot Dog on a Stick for like a few corn dogs, some chicken tenders, some lemonades, fries, and funnel cake. Like, that's everything we got. We paid $108. And so what I'm thinking, you're a movie guy, right? You know the tropes of different things that happen in movies. What happens when an outbreak happens?
People go crazy.
People go crazy.
People go crazy.
And the government swoops in for containment. I think we were at ground zero for inflation, and the government was trying to get to Hot Dog on a Stick before it spread to the rest of the country, but it's too late.
Also, to piggyback on that, we were taste testers, the poison testers, if you will.
They're trying a less expensive corn dog alternative, and we're like, let's see if this turns them into mutants or something like that. So we're paying full price, but they're trying to like work on a formula that they can then lower the prices and combat inflation. And it's taken like top military brass to like come in, and they're swooping and they're looking to see like, are they going to turn?
I mean, it was pretty unreal. And they were flying very slowly. They were there very slowly.
Like
very
they had their eyes on
methodically.
us.
Exactly. Like, I was afraid to wave because, I mean, if they thought that was a signal of some point or whatever. I mean, if
go,
you...
go. You just see a red laser appear on my
yes,
forehead.
yeah.
You're like, oh, no, I didn't mean that.
You know, and I'm at the Fine Dining podcast studio right now, guys, and I'm looking at this amazing
tchotchke of mediocrity.
Exactly. And it has all of the stellar fine dining restaurants that Michael went to. And I'm sure that the majority were actually less expensive.
Honestly, to feed 3 people, most of these places are cheaper than Hot Dog on a Stick was. So it needed government containment to make sure that inflation didn't spread. Unfortunately, they were too late. And I think that is, in fact, what's going on over there. All right, Monis. So we've covered the atmosphere. We need to give it 2 thumbs down to 2 thumbs up. How are you feeling about the atmosphere at this Hot Dog on a Stick location?
Oh, 2 thumbs way up, Michael. 2 thumbs way, way up. I love the dark comedy of it all. It is a character in and of itself. It is an adventure. It's also the test if you can actually embrace, if you will, Los Angeles for all of its good, bad, and ugly.
I feel so. You say, yeah, embrace it for its ugly. I feel like you're the type of person who would go to New York. You're in the subway. A guy starts peeing and you just start applauding. Yes, authentic New York. 2 thumbs up. Primo. That's what I feel just happened. I think you're wrong. I'm going one thumb down. There's no way this was an above average experience. I got sand on myself. I ate mere feet away from a used condom that I was unaware of. I ate even closer to like half drank bottles of alcohol that were on the ground. There was probably a syringe in my vicinity. I just didn't notice it. One thumb down, Monis. You're insane.
All right, so I know you don't drink, Michael, but man, one day, either in this lifetime or a different lifetime, you and I are going to get fucked up on whatever, and I'm not saying what that's going to be. We're going back to the dragon, and you're going to have that two thumbs way
We're
up
gonna
experience.
chase the dragon. Isn't that a heroin thing? Yeah, let's take some heroin and go to hot dog on a stick.
Whoa, mind blown. We were in a dragon, and there probably were a bunch of needles in the dragon.
Probably. We didn't see them, but they were there.
And now, a word from our totally not made up sponsor.
Greetings. Harrison Augustine Flying Money Wad Emoji Arrylius XIV here, back once again to address the intravenous drug habits of the 0.00001%. So you're chasing the dragon on a dirty beachside playground? We're not so different, you and I, except for the fact that I'm injecting myself, like all future trillionaires, with an immortality serum made from high-yielding junk bonds and crushed platinum. And since I'm supervised by the team that cured my father's aging affliction, overdosing is nigh impossible. But I find it important to let you people know that the rich party too. I've got pretty lights on speed dial, and even though his earnings contain far fewer digits than mine, I like to let him curate my uppers at Burning Man. Even though I could easily afford a trip to space with my stock dividends, I prefer to go there in the confines of my own mind sometimes just to change things up. Why add to your chambermaid's interminable to-do list when you could skip forcing someone to pack your bags altogether? Well, this time at least. I've been known to be a man of the people. Anyways, I must be going. I've spoken too long about my illicit activities, and I'd hate to have to pretend to wear another ankle bracelet to stave off the tantrum the lower middle class would throw if they knew I could get away with literally anything. Toodaloo.
Service.
So service is going to be pretty short. There was just one girl behind the counter, and she noticed me early, and I was like, oh, I'm waiting on people. And she kind of looked at me like, that's weird. Just get your stand item. She didn't have like an annoyed or anything that matched the tone that I just did, but it seemed odd to her that I'm like waiting on people to eat a hot dog on a stick. It just seemed like just get your thing and then they'll get their thing, like whatever.
I loved how professional it was. It was very, very professional. It was very, but hey, I couldn't have asked for more or less. Now, what I did not like, you see, growing up, I know we already did the history in last week's episode or in part 1, but I had this vision, this notion that, like even growing up in my mall, the employees of Hot Dog on a Stick were, a very pretty, almost model-esque woman. And I was like, hey, was this just my like young fantasy vibe? And I'm like, no, it wasn't, because even researching, I watched this Huell Hauser episode, and all of the employees at that location were all these hot, very, I was like, whoa, wowzers. Now,
wowzers?
Like these.
Are you from the 50s? How old are you?
That restaurant fiction, we're in a whole different like dimension, my friend.
Yeah.
So I was picturing this. I mean, even obviously the Charlie's Angels version, those are A-list actresses. What I got as the employees were just people. Like they weren't like, they were all good. Like I didn't really see any of them of what they look like in the mall. They're out like in this OG version of Hot Dog on a Stick. They're guarded by
plexiglass windows.
Exactly.
Plexiglass, like
and you have
glass.
to really, really bend down to even see. And I mean, yes, there's kind and respectful males. There's kind and respectful females. You couldn't ask for anything more, but
it was really insane that you asked to see their breasts, but like, I thought that was a step too far, but you do you, man.
I didn't mean to get your podcast canceled. I am sorry.
I'll go on record and say he didn't do that exactly in that way, but Nothing about this service experience stuck out to me, good or bad. It was a transaction. That was about it. She was cordial. I wouldn't say overly kind, but cordial. I thought the food took a bit longer than you'd expect. But I mean, I guess we did order the full menu. So I guess it took like maybe 10 minutes or something.
Oh, I love that part of actually. I wish it even could take longer because what that interval means is it's like, hey, these are not just frozen microwaved dogs.
It's a process.
Yeah, this is a process. I wish actually like I could even see them twirl and dip. I hope they still do the dip and the flip. And I really do hope that they
like a Benihana.
Yeah, exactly. And I really hope, I doubt it, but I really hope they're really churning and burning those lemons in the big, huge vats.
Well, they do advertise their lemonade as quote unquote hand-stomped, which we'll get into when we talk about the food. But they definitely highlight like, yeah, this is a process that we do to make sure that the lemonade is as fresh as advertised. So I think overall on this service, to me, it was pretty neutral. I'm going to go just a flat 0 thumbs. It didn't make an impression, good or bad with me. It was a transaction, and I appreciated that.
2 thumbs way up still.
You're just an optimistic dude, aren't you?
I am. Well, I mean, but I'm going
I've been waited on by some of the finest dining staffs out there. Like, those are the 2 thumbs up experiences.
Oh, Michael, I've been to Michelin star restaurants where I've had the shittiest service of my lifetime. So trust me, this service that we experienced at Hot Dog on a Stick was so much more professional than some Michelin star restaurants that I've been to.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I'd rather have a very neutral, indifferent experience in any type.
One with disdain.
Exactly. Or judgment.
That's what thumbs down are for.
Oh, no, because it was professional. It's exactly what corporate vibe I wanted.
Yeah, this wasn't thumbs down. This to me was just no thumbs.
See, what really actually made it was I actually did feel they respected us for pretty much ordering the entire menu. And why is because they even gave us like a whole separate brown bag of all of our forks, napkins, and condiments. Even when I asked, hey, where's this? It was like, boom, no, it's all in the bag separately. I'm like, kudos to you.
So you're going 2 thumbs up?
I'm going 2 thumbs up.
I'm going no thumbs. All right. It's time. We can talk about the food.
Food. Yum, yummy.
Okay, so like I mentioned, we ordered the entire menu. I've already said everything that we got, but I guess I'll go a little bit more in detail. We got, between the 3 of us, 6 stick items. We got 3 beef dogs, like the Nathan hot dog dipped in the cornbread batter. I got the original turkey dog. And then the 2 of you got the 2 different cheese dogs. There was a pepper jack and an American cheese dog. Is that correct?
Which is this where I go, quah, and beep?
The sound effect already, it's taken care of. It's on the house.
All right.
Unless you would like me to replace. Actually, you know what? I'm going to sample your beep and your eagle noise and replace every instance of American and cheese with those sounds for the rest of this episode. I guess I'll start us off with the lemonades. What, you just got a standard or did you get the cherry?
I got the cherry frozen lemonade.
Okay. And I got the pine berry, which was their seasonal offering. It looked like it was a little bit of pineapple, strawberry hybrid lemonade, hand-stomped. To me, honestly, it didn't taste that much fresher than anything else I've had. It wasn't this thing that just hit me as, oh, this is amazing lemonade. It was good, but it didn't stand out to me.
This is a corporation that I don't feel does like a lot of new items. I don't know what they're
really going out on a limb to be like, oh, pine berry.
Yeah,
do we dare make this leap?
And I don't know what their R&D process is because I feel it's a menu that has been tried and true for decades upon decades upon decades.
And I've actually come to have an immense appreciation for small menu places.
Yeah.
Because usually they do them pretty well. Waffle House, I think they do their thing pretty well. Dave's Hot Chicken, I think they do their thing really well. So places like that where it's like, we don't have a very expansive menu, but the things that we do offer are pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I did taste a little bit of your pine berry. It did not have that fresh quality, and I think the ratio of even water was a lot more watery. It really didn't have that much of a flavor. I didn't know what I was supposed to be tasting.
I got a little bit of pineapple, and that was kind of the extent of it, and it made me feel like I was eating my son. That's my son right there, Juicy Jr.
Oh, yeah. I'm looking right now at literally a pineapple figurine with a face and an awesome...
Figurine? That's a real dude right there.
You know what makes it a real dude, guys and girls, is the porn star mustache right there. I mean, that is awesome.
Hey, who are you calling porn star?
It's all about your mustache, my friend.
Don't make assumptions about my job. I'm just trying to sit here and speculate the episode in peace, okay? Leave me out of it.
Fine,
and
but
don't eat me.
You smell very, very sweet right now.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Pineberry, all the way. Pineberry lemonade.
Yeah, I went 5 out of 10 on it. It was very average to me.
Michael, this is where restaurant fiction gets real. This is where that positivity and the optimism kind of dwindles. Definitely was a whole miss for me. Lemonade is a very, very important beverage, if you will, in my whole repertoire of how I think of food. I mean, even we had the cherry frozen lemonade.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, obviously, I would have loved some booze in it, kind of like how Taco Bell Cantina and their Baja Fresh. Like I was anticipating that this like slushy, if you will, it did not taste fresh. I've had version frozen margaritas that had a better ice sugar, syrupy ratio.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, honestly, probably would have been preferred just over iced instead of frozen, which is usually even how I take my margaritas anyway.
Yeah.
But I went with the frozen. I wanted the brain freeze. Didn't even get the brain freeze.
Dude, I brain freeze so easily, which is my deterrent for going away from it.
Gotcha. Yeah. I mean, the bell curve is obviously a 7-Eleven Slurpee, and this was less than even the Target Slurpees. I mean, those are fantastic in every single way, and this one just did not cut it.
Put a number on it?
Ooh, I'm going with a hard 1 right here.
You're going with a 1 out of 10?
Yeah, I didn't finish it. I gave it to my friend.
You're coming out the gate strong.
This is definitely where...
All right.
Yeah, this is where that perfect 10 not happening.
All right. So now I'm going to kind of go in the order that you would make a meal. Let's go with the thing that could best be described as an appetizer. They had 2 types of chicken tenders. They had just a standard chicken tender, and then they had one that was tossed in Sweet Baby Ray's sauce. I thought that the standard chicken tender, whether or not this is how they made it, it tasted like a bagged frozen, dropped in a fryer and served sort of chicken tender. It didn't taste like there was any love put into it. I'm not going to be snobby to the point of saying that even if, like, there's not a bar that it's under just for being frozen. You can make a great frozen chicken tender. I mean, there probably is a cap, but like, if you fool me, you fool me. And if it tastes great, it tastes great. This just didn't overcome that. I felt like the 1-word review I gave this chicken tender was unneeded. 3 out of 10.
All right. So for all of the listeners out there who even want to question, why did you order chicken tenders at a hot dog on a stick? Okay, well, first and foremost, we did not put chicken tenders on the menu. It was corporate, which has to go through,
blame hot dog on a stick, blame fat brands,
which has to go through the ringer. The R&D process to even get an item on a fast food menu, especially a corporate fast food menu, I mean, that is so much testing, so much market research. You have no idea. So yeah, if it was on the menu, this very, very small menu, we would have assumed it's like, okay, this has been through the ringer.
This is made the cut.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So we can blame the testers for this.
We can blame the testers. We can blame the corporate kitchens, probably in Irvine somewhere. I don't know, but we're taking hot dog on a stick seriously. Like, we want to see if they can do more than just hot dog on a stick. And no.
In this regard, no.
It's a hard no. I once bumped into a gentleman and we were doing a wine tasting, and he said that the wine is serviceable. And I'm like, what does serviceable mean, sir? And he goes, would I serve this? I'm like, interesting.
Okay.
So would I serve these chicken tenders, whether it's the regular or not? And it's a hard no. You mentioned,
you try both of them?
I did try both of them. And you mentioned, this was very poignant, it's that frozen food. You said you've had frozen chicken tenders, which were better. And that's true. I have too. And it doesn't matter what grocery store, what brand. It doesn't matter even how you fry them or bake them or air fry them or toast them or whatever.
You can do better than this.
Exactly.
Yeah. Did the Sweet Baby Rays help it? In my case, no.
Not even the branding of Sweet Baby Ray's helped it.
I had them both at 3 out of 10, both versions. I gave them separate ratings. Do you have a score?
Yeah, it's going to be a hard 2.
Hard 2 on both?
Yeah, a hard 2. I mean, and it was definitely on the white meat, and it was stringy, and it was dry. There was no crunch, and the sugary, spicy rub didn't work. Yeah, I mean, you can go better from just a average, mediocre cafeteria.
So now let's get into the side that we got, the French fries. These fries, negligible. I ate one and I was like, oh, this is just a space filler. This is not offering me satisfaction that, honestly, it's pretty easy to get from a French fry. And this fry couldn't clear that bar. I went 2.5 out of 10 on these fries. So we're down in the pits so far on the food.
The joke is on us for dining. The place is called Hot Dog on a Stick. It's not called French fry. It's not called chicken tender,
right?
On a stick, I guess. So yeah, we're getting items that they don't necessarily specialize in, unfortunately. And one of them is these French fries. I concur. I completely agree with that assessment of the French fry. They're limp. That could be taken in a clean way or a dirty way. I don't care.
They're why the Magnum condom was there.
Exactly. Used and abused through the ringer. But when it comes to a cheap fry, now obviously In-N-Out advertises that their French fries are always fresh, and I believe them. I see them, and it's not a fry that I like. I don't like these. I don't
know anyone who's a big fan of the In-N-Out fries.
Yeah, they're like the worst fast food fries. These are
dried out version. No, honestly, I wouldn't evoke In-N-Out in terms of like their structure.
Right.
These were a little thicker, not by much. I mean, they're not like steak fries or anything, but just a dry, chalky, almost like a Wendy's fry is what I was getting, like a chalky, dry version of a Wendy's fry.
But it was tasteless, no crunch, and honestly, no care. Why did we wait so long for the food? Because it does seem like, hey, the lemonades and the chicken tenders and these now French fries, they would have probably taken seconds if they were under heat lamps. Like, It did feel that way.
Yeah. Do you have a score?
Oh, hard one.
Dang, you're just ones and twos right now. What are
really,
you, a DJ? You're just on the ones and twos?
I am on the ones and twos. I mean, life isn't, all sunshine, rainbows, and lollipops.
Yeah.
But you got to take the hits with the misses. Yeah, people would think, oh, he would have hated the atmosphere. He would have hated. It's like, no, that actually set the tone. But the food was like, I can't even be the hipster, ironic, hey, this is actually good. No, it's not.
Yeah.
And we're in the epicenter of a touristy part of LA where, food options, especially touristy food options, are a dime a dozen.
Yeah.
You would think this place, this establishment wants to create that happy memory, and they're not doing it so far.
Right. But let's move on to the namesake now. This place is Hot Dog on a Stick. Now, apparently the original was a turkey dog, which, sure, hot dog can be a turkey dog, but I think beef when I think of hot dog. And they had both those offerings, so I got a turkey dog and a beef dog. You got a beef dog and an American cheese dog, and Chris got a beef dog and you got the cheddar jack. He got the American cheese.
Pepper jack. I got the pepper jack, and he got the American cheese.
Did I say cheddar jack?
Yeah.
Pepper jack. Go ahead and talk about the abominable imposters, the cheap sticks, but I'm only giving you 1 minute to do so. I don't want to tolerate too much cheap talk, so I'm putting 1 minute on the clock, and that's how long you have to talk about either just your pepper jack or you and Chris's things, because you tasted them both, right?
Yes.
All right. 1 minute on the clock, starting now. Go for it.
Cheap on a stick is where it's at. Just imagine the ultimate school, elementary school, preschool, I'd even go even middle school, grilled cheap, that real fake yet buttery golden with the crunch, but put it all in this golden crisp tubular cocoon, if you will. And trust me, when you bite the American cheap, it is worth it. It is light at the end of the tunnel. So As far as the pepper jack beep is concerned, where the American beep derived pepper jack, I don't know. I don't know why they put the pepper jack. I think maybe even Havarti melts better. I would even have done a Boursin French version, but not pepper jack. The pepper jack is lackluster in every single way, so skip that and just beep. It's about 9.5 out of 10. For only American beep. American beep, pepper jack is 1.
There is no middle ground with you, huh?
I'm either low end or high end. There's no in between. Yeah.
And I'm right there in the middle. Like that's my ground is I'm just like, yeah, most things are just okay. So the original turkey dog that I got, I thought the breading was great. I didn't realize at the time that it was a cornbread breading. And now that I think about it, the name corn dog probably implies that it's always a cornbread breading. And I feel kind of stupid for that. But it was kind of thick. It was a little fluffier, a little bit more of a layer of breading. And I think I wanted maybe a little less. I like getting to the meat sooner. I like the meat to be the star of the show. And I feel like they put too much breading to where it was kind of splitting the attention. Still very tasty. I didn't realize that the original was turkey. Kind of surprised me, but I liked it. I went 7.5 out of 10 on the original turkey.
Michael, I need to tell you a few things. So I take corn dogs very, very seriously.
I know.
Number one is a corn dog was actually one of the very first bougie, fancy gourmet items I ever made as a chef. I made, and I failed miserably, a green chili corn dog with masa way, way, way back when I was little. It was an epic failure. I'm not going to go down to it. But then when it comes to the actual corn dog, obviously, it has this nostalgia factor, hot dog on a stick, but at the same time, I'm like, well, do I judge it against State Fair corn dogs? Do I even judge it against Disneyland corn dog? Or do I judge it against, oh yeah, that's right, the ultimate corn dog, which I've had recently, which is at Universal Studios Hollywood, which is a superb corn dog in every sense of the word. It is perfection. So anyway, I take corn dogs very, very seriously. I did not also tell you something that I know. I'm
scared.
Yeah, I know. I didn't tell
you.
The
truth is coming out.
Yes.
Are you about to take off your mask and like a Scooby-Doo villain? You are a giant corn dog.
I'm from corporate America. Shut this podcast down right now. No, yeah. So a week prior to us eating, I actually went to Hot Dog on a Stick without you. And
that one?
Yeah, that one.
What?
I know, I did. I'm not going to, and I had the beef because the week previously, I had the turkey.
Okay.
Now, what did I think of the beef? It was excellent. It was perfect.
You thought the beef was perfect?
I thought the beef was perfect.
I had the beef at a lower rating than the turkey.
No, I thought...
Not by much, but...
I thought this is the institutional corn dog that I remember. Now, yes, is it as good as, say, Universal Studios, which sets the bar? Like, that's as perfection as perfection gets. It is not, but still it is perfect. I mean, all of the twists and the batter and the
I like
freshness.
how you're like, it's perfect, but not as perfect.
Exactly. Yes, you could get like...
There are levels of perfection.
There are. It's all relative. Art is in the eye of the beholder, my friend.
Okay. It's like a 10 out of 10, but not quite the 10 out of 10 that this other 10 out of 10 is. If only there were other numbers I could use to indicate that, like a 9.8. All right, what's your score on this?
No, this is definitely a slam dunk right here. This is a 10 out of 10 right here.
Insanity. Yeah. You don't know how numbers work.
I don't.
This is a kangaroo court. I went 6 out of 10 on the beef hot dog, or corn dog. When I come up with these numbers, this is against all foods. So a 10 out of 10, like the best corn dog I've ever had, is probably like an 8 out of 10 food. I think there are just foods better than a corn dog. Even the best corn dog doesn't compare with the best of other things.
I say the Universal Studios corn dog, a lot harder to get into. You have to pay the price of admission. You have to hike. You have to do a lot more work.
You got to work for it.
You do really have to. You have to even find the one own stand in that entire theme park. You have to get your ass over to
one.
Yeah, you got to find the one. It's a lot more accessible to go for a beef corn dog and hot dog on a stick. So yeah, you're going to get the crispy goldenness, that almost the crepe-like textures that fold over the beef.
Yeah.
Yes, You are, and we love that. We love that. Like, even if we're like, oh, is it a 9.7? No, everything about it justifies. It even bit off the stick just in the right way. I mean, from the crunch.
Yeah, the
going down
textures
the
on
gullet.
these
Yeah,
truly
absolutely.
were masterful. I had no difficulty with the texture. I had no, there was no off bite. Sometimes you get just something pops in your teeth and you're just like, I didn't like that. Like a processed meat chunk or something.
Like, if there is any kind of heir or relative from the good old days from 1946,
Yeah.
they would be proud of still this product.
Of what they have today.
Yeah.
All right, so now let's close it on out with the dessert, the funnel cake sticks. Immediately, I took a bite and I was like, this tastes like breakfast cereal. And I love breakfast cereal. So whether or not this tasted as advertised like a funnel cake, it was still a taste I liked. So I think funnel cake sticks might almost be a misnomer. It may not be correctly labeled, but it's a taste I like. This was an enjoyable part of my meal, I thought.
But what breakfast cereal, Michael?
Well, you guys said Cocoa Puffs, but I haven't had a lot of Cocoa Puffs in my life. To me, I was getting hints of Lucky Charms.
You were getting hints. Yeah, we felt the funnel cake was like at that nice aspect when the Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, they jacuzzi in the milk for at least 3 to 5 minutes.
Yeah, because there was definitely the moisture from the frosting and stuff. So it wasn't like a dry cereal. It was definitely like a cereal in milk for sure.
Yes, exactly. It was like a braised cereal.
A braised funnel cake
yeah,
stick.
A braised, yeah.
Say that real hoity-toity. I went 7 out of 10 on these. I actually did quite enjoy these.
You hit it on the head for me. It did not taste like a funnel cake. A funnel cake is supposed to be airy. It's supposed to be airy and swirly like a poop. These were dense.
Yeah.
These were doughy. These were dense. And it was slop to me.
Slop to
you?
you?
It was slop to me. This was, once again, it was an entire miss. Even if it had that nostalgic sugary cereal vibe, I don't even like the cereal milk yogurt from the famous Milk by Momu. I don't like anything like that, but that's just me. I know that's a huge seller
Your
for
palate.
them. It is my palate. I actually still like their great sugary Kellogg's cornflakes, but for this one, for the funnel cake, no, cereal taste did not like at all.
So your number?
Ooh, I'm going to go a little higher. Going to go 3.2.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I'm respecting you're getting closer to the middle.
Yeah.
I'm a vortex of mediocrity. I'm always trying to pull people toward that 5.
You see, and this is why the world needs you, because the world needs people like you, because life is the gray. Life is the middle.
People are dealing in extremes.
So that's why we support you and what you're doing.
Thank you. And speaking of right in the middle, I am going no thumbs on the food. I thought that the amount of good and the amount of bad, they kind of balanced each other out. I had a very neutral meal, I thought, at Hot Dog on a Stick overall.
And this is, once again, black and white. 1 thumb down, 1 thumb up. The thumb up is only for the beep on the stick American beef dog, and then obviously the beef dog. But everything else you can ignore or get somewhere else.
Yeah, so you have to rate the overall food experience. Where you go?
And this is just on the food?
Just the food.
Okay. Even the 2 items that we loved are still not strong enough. I'm going to say thumbs down.
Just 1 thumb down?
Yeah, 1 thumb down.
All right.
Final rating.
Okay, we need to put all of these considerations together into a final score for Hot Dog on a Stick. We're aiming for the middle, 5.00 out of 10. I'll give you the floor to go first.
So we loved the experience. We loved the details. We loved the story. We loved the creation and how it actually served as a muse for your experience, whether that be good or bad. Trust me,
You bring up the word degenerate a lot when talking about this experience.
But in the best of terms, because just knowing you have to know what you're getting into. Like, you go to a mall from the 80s, or, almost like this time warp. It's like, yes, I'm in a mall. Let's go to a mall food court. You know that when you're in Los Angeles, know that it's not overly saturated perfection. This is going to be grimy. There's still going to be tourists, and there's going to be kind of a semi-clean yet semi-pretty dirty ocean. When you put all of that in and you just accept your fate, then it's going to be good. It's going to be good. So for that, we loved it. We loved the professional employees. For us, had nothing bad to say, which on a way is a positive. And,
No, it's by definition a neutral. I had nothing bad to say. That's good. No, nothing bad to say just means it neutral.
Oh, we still consider
I'm going to fight you on all of this.
We're going to. Trust me, it's still a positive.
All right.
But anyway, and then the food, the coup de grace.
Kind of was a death blow.
It was. It wasn't the dragon with the used condom that was the deal breaker. Like, oh, well, let's leave. No, it was the food that only 2 hits out of, and plus this astronomical price point really diminished the whole review greatly. Where I would have been on the 8, 9, 10, it brought it way down to about a 6.2.
So 6.20 for you. The fact that 8, 9, 10 are even in the discussion is true insanity to me, okay? The restaurant itself, the exterior was clean, but the environment was dirty. They don't have tables for you. Just throw your food in the sand. Just go eat with the gulls, The service was just there. The food was just there. It had a couple of items, but even then, they're not impressive items. A corn dog, to me, doesn't carry the same impression as it seems to for you.
But we come from, though, a point of, hey, are you going to come back with a story to tell?
Absolutely. But just because I got a story out of it doesn't mean that it was good. It just means that I was perceptive. So I don't credit the restaurant for that. This was much lower for me. We're actually pretty far apart. I went 3.94 overall for the hot dog on a stick dining experience. I want tables. I want a memorably positive interaction with servers. I'm not complaining about the service at all, but it was just there. And yeah, it was just a corn dog. I'm sorry to say it. It was just a corn dog to me. I've had better corn dogs. I like them a little crispier. And none of the other food felt good to me. So 3.94. All that said, when I put my score together with your score, hot dog on a stick goes up on the tchotchke of mediocrity at a 5.07.
Better than mediocre. It's better than an apple.
We got real close to center on this, but it wasn't because of an agreement between you and I that it was mediocre. It's because I thought it was bad, you thought it was good, and those two facts were pulling it kind of in opposite directions. So we did land right above Waffle House, which I have at a 5.06, but still very close to mediocrity. That said, it is not perfect mediocrity, Monis. It is not the bar that I am looking for. It missed that mark. I gotta keep looking for another spot. Where am I gonna go next time? Well, to determine that, you and I need to play a little game. We need to play the headline game.
The rules of the headline game are as follows. Michael will present 3 headlines to his co-host that include this week's restaurant. They can be made up, or they can be actual headlines. If the co-host can correctly guess if at least 2 out of 3 are real or fake, they will get to select next week's restaurant. However, if Michael stumps them, he'll select again. Are you ready to play, fellas?
I'm ready.
All right. First headline. Chaos at Albuquerque hot dog on a stick as employee involved in shootout.
Albuquerque, I've been to Albuquerque, and actually I've heard that Albuquerque could be a dangerous place. I was riding my bicycle in Albuquerque. I was even riding my bicycle in the nicer, well-to-do area of Albuquerque, and I asked a business owner, hey, is this safe to just leave my bicycle out? And the business owner said, well, it is Albuquerque. And
Just laughed at you.
Yeah. So I'm going to say true.
I'll say true. Next headline. Hot dog on a stick to celebrate National Something on a Stick Day.
In this day and age, it seems like every single day of our calendar is related to food. There is a national day, a national lasagna day. So I'm also going to say true just to buy more hot dogs on a stick.
True for National Something on a Stick Day. And lastly, corn dogs for pups. Original hot dog on a stick shack to offer doggy dogs to customers' canine companions next weekend.
I mean, that's a low-hanging fruit, sellable item. I could definitely see that. The puppy craze, the hot dogs, I get it, but it just seems too on the nose. So I'm going to say false on that one.
All right. So, headline number 1, chaos at Albuquerque hot dog on a stick as employee involved in shootout. You said true. Monis, I fooled you on that. I made up that headline. And it's partially because I am a giant Breaking Bad fan that I chose Albuquerque. Headline number 2, hot dog on a stick to celebrate National Something on a Stick Day. You said true. That one is true. You sussed that out correctly. And final headline, corn dogs for pups. Original hot dog on a stick shack to offer doggy dogs to customers' canine companions next weekend. You said false because it was too on the nose. Monis, I was so proud of that headline, but yes, I did make it up. So you correctly guessed 2 out of 3. Where do you want me to go eat next weekend?
Well, Michael, personally, if you're running this fine dining podcast, which is great, by the way, you got to get out of the bubble of Los Angeles and California. You just got to get the whole show on the road. Personally, there is a place, I don't know if you're familiar with it, but it is called Friendly's, and you need to get your butt and you need to bring all of the podcasts and all of your crew.
That's like East Coast.
That is East Coast. So you better clock it in. You better fly, drive, whatever you have to do.
I'll walk.
And you walk it. I don't care how long it takes and how many steps it's going to take.
Yeah.
But enjoy. And I promise you, actually, I don't promise you. I don't know. I take that back. But at least I am going to go on this optimistic that you're probably going to get that perfect 5.00.
All right. Well, Monis Rose from Restaurant Fiction, thanks so much for coming on. Is there anything you want to say before we get out of here?
Yeah, thank you. Had a great time. So Michael was also on our podcast. Please listen to the Restaurant Fiction movies, because if you loved this review of Hot Dog on a Stick, the movies is the greatest fictional fine dining restaurant ever.
Super average movies from the Kevin Smith View Askew universe, from Clerks 2, Dogma, a bunch of his movies.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we reviewed that.
Yeah, so catch us on YouTube where you could see Michael's pretty face and also my very pretty, handsome face. I'm putting my ego in there. But yeah, we're on Spotify. You can even reach me at monis@restaurantfiction.com. And we just love to hear from you and love to even hear what you have to say about this Hot Dog on a Stick episode, especially all of those Yelp reviewers that we named, you people specifically.
Perfect. Well, thanks so much for joining me. Follow me on social media, TikTok and Instagram at Fine Dining Podcast. Send me an email, finediningpodcast@gmail.com. Tell me what you're thinking. Didn't find the most mediocre restaurant in America. The search does, in fact, continue. We'll see you next time. Have a fine day.
The search continues. We still need the perfect find. The search continues. Like and subscribe. The search continues. Our journey did not conclude. The mother effing search continues. Write us an iTunes review. And hey, while you're at it, why don't you go ahead and make it 5 stars, huh? Come on. Follow us on TikTok, the same on Instagram, all the socials at Fine Dining Podcast. We have a website, finediningpodcast.com. Buy our t-shirts, then put them on. And don't forget, you can always suggest where we go next. Okay, we're going to find it. Mediocrity. The search continues. See you next week. Hurt my throat a little.
Have a fine day.
Oh, hi there. It's your favorite sponsor, Jub.
And your favorite sponsor's favorite partner in abiding by the law, Petunia.
And we're here to
Give out an award. The This Is Way Too Much award.
Yeah, we think that being relegated to the post-credits every other episode is way too much.
This is
As a longtime friend with healthcare benefits of Jub, I'm driving him across state lines
Something that I'm definitely not supposed to be doing,
to show up at Friendly's to eat with Michael. And he's going to listen to Jub's grievances.
of which I have at least one.
And one is more than zero. And it is, in fact,
Way too much. See you next week.
Oh, and Jub, I heard what you said about me at the end of Buca de Beppo, but I did not call you from a landline. Check the voicemail.
Yeah, I know. I was just doing a Goodfellas.
Makes total sense to me. Anyways, we gotta go. Our first of 16 border checks is coming up.
Okay, bye.